Hello. Someone's here now. Someone is here now. My name is Gavin. Welcome to Earth. Oh. There are three. Now there are three. Hello, everybody. Mic check. Mic check. I'm just tricking everyone to thinking Chad would be here. Or I'm summoning Chad. Let's see if I can summon Chad. He might be busy. I was listening to the testimonies. That's what I've been paying attention to. Let's see. I can share. Present. Share screen. Share. Yeah. So I've been paying attention to this channel. Boom. They're growing. It's really good. So yeah, my journey's been that I started trying to love people and listen to people more. And then I was like, it's very interesting that transformation videos are always interesting to me. Like I would watch people cut grass and clean up a piece of property, pressure wash, trim trees, whatever. Or you can watch a time lapse of plants growing or bacteria, disintegrating stuff. Time lapse videos, transformations from people who were overweight and they become healthy. But it's very attractive. And then it's like, man, they were able to, something changed and then their lives were transformed. And so you can see what I've been watching. I've been watching them. It's very interesting stuff to me. And then, yeah, let's see. 7 days ago, I ended up committing my life to Jesus. So I don't have the kind of testimony that these people do. So I'd recommend going and checking these testimonies out. I have my testimony, but I wasn't in prison or anything like that. I basically just had pride and fear and doubt and impulsiveness. And then now that Jesus is able to just boop, make them go away. Hey, oh, we summoned him.
What's up?
How's it going, sir?
I'm on my way home.
Have you had a good one? Uh-oh.
Go back to the job tomorrow and do a little silicone and put it on a grab bar, and I'm done with that one. Then I'm on to the next one.
I lost you there for a little
Oh boy,
bit.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. What you talking about?
Oh, I just told this YouTube channel that I committed my life to Jesus. So kind of weird.
That's well, I mean, that's what life is. Life is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's okay.
So maybe there is an agency.
Yeah.
Is there an agency, Chad? They got me. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's Chad's internet. Is it my internet? I don't
No,
know.
it's mine. It's mine. I'm. This is like it's. I shouldn't have even come on here.
It'd be cool if StreamYard allowed for you to call in with just your cell number.
Yeah, well, I could just call you, and we can do it on speakerphone.
We could try that. There's probably yeah. I mean, there's definitely a way to set it up. I wonder how good the quality of the audio would be.
It'd have like a lo-fi quality, which is kind of stylistic.
I wonder. I could probably if you stopped your camera, your up. I know your upstream would do better, but I
Upstream,
don't want you to crash. So
my
this might help.
upstream
This might help with your connection.
makes me think of why is upstream? It makes me think of Idiocracy. Uh, Upgrade, yeah, upgrade. Yeah, that's
What was that part? What was the upgrade part?
upgrade was the
It was
pimp.
a name. The pimp.
Yeah, the name of the pimp. But then, like in the future, there are a bunch of people named Upgrade, but it was like Upgrade.
That movie's hilarious.
It is.
You can't water your plants with Gatorade.
Yes, you can. Yeah, there's electrolytes. That's what plants crave. Bronto.
Griswold Grimm says, "How about that peacock, though?"
Uh,
I don't get the reference.
well, it's a branding reference of one of the new brandings I made was a peacock.
I got you.
Right now, debating whether or not I should release the video that I recorded this morning as it relates to um, a disagreement that I had live on air with somebody here on the Randos,
I
and
I saw. I think I saw that, and I told my wife it'd be interesting to watch that, but it you know you know, you had a disagreement with me one day. It's like sometimes you sense something that doesn't seem true, and it gets to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I apologized to him for the way that I spoke to him, and then
Yeah.
he accepted the apology, but then he had to kind of double down on his narrative.
I didn't
And
watch that, but I could guess what was happening when I saw a video put out, and I was like, "Come on, you got to
yeah,
do
and
this drama thing."
yeah, and like part of it is like
I didn't even watch it, Chad. I
yeah,
kind of knew what it was just off the bat.
right, and so like I'm guilty of the drama too because like that's what I'm saying. Like I literally have been wrestling with whether or not I would put out a response video because I want to be clear on what I'm trying to say, and then but then it's like, what is that going to do anyways? You know, and
Yeah, exactly. There's some there's some tactics where you like your best move is to ignore it.
yeah,
Like there was a tactic I saw it happen the other day that all of a sudden I started seeing in the headlines that, you know, I don't even want to say it, but the headlines dropped and I'm just like, how do they know this? It's like there's no way there's no way that the people who put out the headlines can know this is true. And the people that they're accusing have no recourse. You know, there's only one thing they can do and it still looks bad. You know, it's kind of like being named by somebody, some, terrible defiling thing that comes out of the mouth. It's like, what do you do when you get named something terrible, you know?
yeah,
Or
yeah. Well,
something you love gets named terribly. Like, what are you
yeah. That
supposed to do then?
well, that's what was bothersome to me, and
Yeah,
I get into that. I talk about like that. So that's what was bothering me was
it was
like,
that toy. It was that toy that is like a gift to you that
yep,
that it you know, and then if and they're just being careless with it. Yeah.
right, and like I'm struggling with what is the motive there.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have those mind reading technologies yet.
Well, and let's hope that never comes. I mean, we have a hard enough time, having GPS. We can barely think for ourselves as it is.
Oh man, I remember life without GPS where I got to sit in like it was a privilege sitting in the passenger seat and having a map and telling my aunt where to go, like what roads to
Yeah,
take. And then there would be a detour. It's like, okay, now I get to figure out how to get around this detour. And I'm learning how to read and navigate. Man, I could navigate those patterns, man.
yeah. Now there is no more navigating.
I mean, well, what was interesting, just to chime in, I went and played World of Warcraft and I started falling off the cliff all the time. And I realized, oh, I have to navigate. So there's some navigating in the virtual space. It's,
Hmm.
it's maybe doesn't have as big of a penalty, you know, because you can always
Yeah,
just turn off that computer or that device.
yeah.
But sometimes you follow that GPS and you end up in a bad place. I remember reading a
Right,
newsletter about someone ended up in like the middle of the desert in Australia because they were following their GPS.
right. And they started in Arizona.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
some people might believe what you just said. How are you, Andrew?
I am sick.
You're sick,
Yeah,
and you gotta get well. I've
thanks,
been
sir.
sick too. It's been going around.
Uh-huh. At first I thought it was allergies, but no, I think I'm just like genuinely sick.
You got to mask up, bro, when you're out in the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm
I'm
sleeping
just
in.
kidding. All
Sleeping
right,
in.
so I'm gonna flip a coin.
Flip a
All right.
coin. Oh man, you better be careful. What do they call that in the Bible? Throwing lots.
I don't know. I don't pay attention that closely.
Casting lots.
So what I want to do is I want to flip a coin, and then I think that will determine whether I release this video or not.
Okay.
Do you think that's
You're.
foolish?
I mean, I don't know what's in the video, so
You
I
know,
know that the tongue defiles. I know that,
Hmm.
and I know that these media platforms are they're tricky. You know, they don't like they're very empowering. And so a defiling tongue can be empowered, and then it can be empowered in many ways.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
I don't think that I come at this from a malevolent angle. I really
yeah,
am.
you got,
I'm trying to be as honest as I can, and how I feel, and what I was experiencing, and then I try to give some actual facts and backgrounds about AA itself.
right.
S-
Yeah, I was
So,
reminded of like whenever I went voting one time, I voted and I wrote myself in, and then I took a picture of the ballot, and then
Mhm.
which is illegal, and
Which is
then later
illegal.
on I went and pulled up all the documents about all the write-ins, and I couldn't find my name. And then I was like,
Mm.
I contacted the authorities in Alabama, and I'm like, hey, it looks like you're missing some documents. And they said, you're right. Thank you for letting us know. They went and updated it again. I still couldn't find my name.
Mm.
My right, like so. At that point, I was like, I knew the truth was that the elections uh, were corrupt. There was some corruption in the election system. So I knew
Right,
that,
right,
and so that was the truth. But then, people will say there's always some errors, and does it matter? And it doesn't change the results and all of that. And so you can
right.
say a truth off of your experience, but does it capture the whole picture?
Well, so I'm trying to not even relate my own experience.
Yeah.
I'm trying to relate, like, what are the technical, like, here's what actually happens uh if if you send money to Alcoholics Anonymous. And like, this is so stupid. Like, who gives a shit, right? Like, not even people in AA really give a shit about this. So this is a point of pride, I suppose, when we're like, but then I also do say, like, in this video, I say, I know that I'm never going to change this person's life, because, like, that just is never going to happen. So no matter what I say, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's always a good question is like, what will these words do?
Yeah.
Like, there's, I think, I guess there are first order and second order effects, there's,
Yeah.
but it's good to have the
Uh,
right spirit. I mean, you did say that you have the right spirit and you're trying to speak truth. I did learn that sometimes the speaking the truth can, like, it might not actually like be good. I can't say that
mm,
telling a lie is good, but I think there's situations where telling the truth is not good. I've run into that,
yeah.
but it doesn't mean you should lie.
Excuse me. Right. Yeah.
So just that putting the truth up at the top, I don't, I think that love needs to be up at the top. Man, I noticed a day in my call, I'm in a call at work, and I'm like, I started just I'm having like love for like unconditional love for people that's overwhelming and brings tears to me. It's
Mm,
crazy. I actually had, I mean, I had that yesterday for Jacob. I was trying to reach out to Jacob, and it happened yesterday, and then it happened today in a meeting.
mm,
I tried, for a while I've been doing that, that practice of saying God bless so and so, God bless Chad. But now I'm
mm.
starting to like all of a sudden becoming. It's almost like I'm feeling overwhelmed with unconditional love. It makes me think that that's how Jesus feels for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It takes um it that takes attention and care, in my experience, because like it
It
feels
just
so
happened though.
wonderful.
It's weird that
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
just happens, like a spontaneous,
yeah,
it's like spontaneous combustion, spontaneous unconditional love.
yeah. Uh, yeah.
So yeah,
This
I
would be
mean,
really. This is the idea of, and I hope this doesn't piss on your parade because I don't want to do that. But
you're not gonna piss
just
on my
know,
parade, man.
like this too shall pass. Just like the bad stuff. Like just that was
Yeah.
because it's like, man, I feel so great. I feel like I can fly, and then like the next day, I'm like, what the hell happened? Like nothing even happened. And then so that's yeah, being having having been given um this gift and this responsibility of this thing is a real pain in the ass sometimes because like I don't I don't want it. And it's like who cares
Oh, he's breaking up
what you
now.
want? This
He
is
was
yours. Deal with it.
Hmm.
How's it going, Matthew?
Well, I've been like going into
Matthew?
rabbit holes I probably shouldn't go down. Yeah. Was it
Chad.
the
I
tarot
think
card
Chad's
reader?
connection is bad, but yeah, I'm hearing you fine, Matthew.
All right. Yeah, tarot card readers and stuff. But you were on the topic of love and truth, and I I find that there's like a kind of like a friction between the two because truth is very important to loving. It's very important to loving because if you're going to be honest with somebody, you have to be well. You're being vulnerable by being honest, but at
Right.
the same time, there's also a way in which truth, as you said, can, if it's put like the highest, it has a way of being just nasty, kind of like harsh, or kind of like a clanging symbol. And
I mean, I could drop some truth on my children that would really damage them, I think.
yeah, I'm curious about that relationship because there's a point of like restriction and relaxation. Sorry, Chad, if I scared you off.
I think his connection was a little choppy there. He's driving. He probably went through a specific area. So you had said there's like I guess what's coming to mind, trying to reiterate what your point was, is there's like an ebb and a flow with a relationship, like as a child encountering truth, and there's probably an order in which revelation should be received so that it doesn't just destroy you or something. You're getting built up, and receiving truth in a kind of order that is going to be good for you.
Mm.
That's what came to mind for me when you were saying that.
Yeah, because I found that warring with bad ideologies, it does create this sort of gap where I have to recognize and kind of edit myself around.
It sounds like but this is the propositional part of it. Like, how important is the propositional truth? Like, we can really get hung up on propositional truth, right? How important is it?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to ideas, I kind of see like layers of ideas or complexities. Like you have a child, you wouldn't try to force calculus upon a 3-year-old.
Right.
Or you wouldn't try to
That would be torture.
force yes. And that's the kind of thing that I feel what's happening with the culture, because it's just getting more and more technical. Everything's getting more technical. It's like relationship theory. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between committing your life to your wife and saying that you are committed to your wife. There's a big difference between the actual act of doing it every day at every moment, and then saying that you and then saying that you're going to do it, or that you have done it. It's like
Yeah.
there's a difference between the participatory and the propositional truth. Very big difference. It's nice when they line up, though.
And hi, Chad. I saw you
Hey
peek
there.
out. Hi.
Yeah, you didn't scare me off, Mark. Just when I get to my house, my connection is generally bad. So then when I walk into the house, it connects to the Wi-Fi and then it kicks everything off. It's weird.
Okay.
I got the same problem.
Yeah. Matthew didn't scare you off.
No, not at all. Yeah, so like your propositional truths and all that stuff, and participatory truth and all that stuff, it's all different, and they're for different things, you know.
The word truth in the Greek is like aletheia. I'm gonna listen to it.
Strong's G225. Aletheia.
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 Aletheia. I can't say it.
I like that.
I like it. I mean, was it based around the law of non-contradiction? But the thing is, when you put a law on something, it implies restriction as opposed to ebb and flow. I don't know.
So something interesting happened to me the other day where I had said I had lied in one of my streams or one of my videos, and then all of a sudden the piece just disappeared from me. And then once I was able to recognize that I had lied and like make that video unlisted, and then kind of repent and admit that, hey, that was a lie, the piece came back. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a matter of being conscious of people around you. Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, do you
maybe
want to know?
it's-
Like, it's actually beneficial
maybe
for
it's
you
more-
to speak the truth. Like, it's an amazing gift if you practice speaking truth, and when you lie, paying attention to what you say, and then when you lie, being able to notice the change in you, and then being able to like say, oh, that was a lie, and then repent and say, oh, that was a lie. Now I know that was a lie. Like, and you're just kind of a miserable person otherwise. That's what I felt. And so it's kind of sad for the people who lie.
I think truth, or at least a proper understanding and use of truth, is best used in relationships to each other. Because, I mean, if you're going to tell the truth, my problem is when I sound myself off on Twitter or when I'm making monologues, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm talking into the camera and I'm dealing with dangerous thoughts. I'm thinking to myself, and it creates more fear than I should have. and it's not relationship. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like anything sort of crossing a boundary, and that creates guilt in the heart. So
So you feel guilty when you talk to the camera and the microphone by yourself? Is that what happens?
Hmm?
I don't. That's what I heard.
well,
There's some
when I'm
kind of
by
feeling you get when
myself,
you're doing
it's
these
a
things.
reciprocal narrowing.
Yeah, I see that. I can get that. It is a lot easier and probably more healthy when you have
Hmm.
somebody you could see you could see
I mean,
their facial expressions, all that stuff. It's a lot different.
yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm just going to release the video, because part of this
I
is
mean,
that
yeah.
what's his face wants me to be as honest as I can with him, and so I'm just going to do it, even though I don't mention his name. I'm trying
Am I,
to.
am I the?
I can hear you, Matthew.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I might have cut you off.
So you want to release your video? It's sometimes there's a time to do a private meeting,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like the protocol that Paul Vanderklay uses. You do a private Zoom and hash it out, and then afterward, if both people agree, you can release it. And so it's so then you. But yeah, sometimes in a private conversation, it can get a little more intimate.
Yeah. Well,
Because when we're talking publicly, there's some kind of a spirit there that could cause you to put on a persona or a mask or something.
yeah. Well, that all of that's very true, and I did reach out to him in private. He was too busy to take a call, but he took my message and stuff. But again, I'm not really looking to change this person's mind.
I do.
Go ahead. Is my thing doing something weird?
I'm sorry.
I hear you. It might be Matthew might have a connection issue right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. So again, I'm not looking to change his mind, because I know that's impossible. But he wanted me to be as honest with him as possible, so I'm going to do that, and I'm trying to provide information about what I think was said that isn't true.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you can, I think I heard someone today say that sometimes Mars is closer to the sun than the Earth is, and then later on he finally says, "Oh man, that was wrong." I said, "Well, if you rename the moon Mars, then you're not wrong." So like, the way we define our words really, like, can make a sentence sound true or false. And so, in order to really understand each other, you have to listen and understand what people mean by the words they use. Then we all have like vocabulary that's familiar, and so one word could be more or less familiar, and there can be confusion. So it really takes like to have a mutual conversation. There has to be that enough love to understand the other person's language, even when it sounds like they're speaking the same language. And that's hard.
Yeah.
I notice what I do when I'm, at least when I'm trying to monologue, is I imagine myself carrying everybody whom I'm speaking to. But because of that dispersedness, and you're talking to lots and lots of people at once, and you're not talking to like one individual, it kind of like Jordan Peterson says, like he doesn't talk to an audience, he talks to a person in the audience. And I think that if you're going to talk to that person, you have to consider what that relationship is like with that person, and why is this person demanding the truth from you, and why do you have to expose the truth to him. And yeah, I mean, there's more to it that's involved in agape than just, you know, rhetoric and being right with the law of non-contradiction.
Well, I should probably upload that video, and I'm gonna let the.
Hey, Chad, what is a Chad? I know there's like a meme or something, but about a Chad. I don't know what a Chad is.
I don't know exactly either. I actually didn't even hear about that until I came around the corner. But I know the Chad is some sort of a little piece of paper that gets hung up on a voting punch out cards in the 90s, I think it was.
Okay.
When they're called the hanging Chads.
Hang.
And then it's a country
Also,
as well.
Yeah, it is.
So
I think the meme was the ideal alpha male or something. I think. I don't know. I find it's a funny meme, but it's gotten to a point where it's old. But yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus is the King of Kings, ideal alpha male.
Jesus is the ultimate Chad.
Jesus is the Chad, the ideal Chad.
He's the whole church.
What's that?
He's like the husband of the church.
Make the church called Chad. the Chad denomination. That's a blasphemy.
Oh man. but this is the thing about names. This really is. It's the thing about names. It's so confusing. It's like, you know, what's wrong with this name Chad if it represents the ideal alpha male? If that's your definition of Chad, it's like, yeah, there was a Chad. It's like Chad died on a cross, rose 3 days later.
What's a Gavin?
I've heard about it, Gavin. What a Gavin is.
What is it?
I think it comes from Gawain, and you maybe you've heard of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. But
yeah,
there's different.
He's like a Christ figure too.
Well, what I've heard is more like some kind of a messenger or someone sent by, something like that.
That sounds like angel.
I've heard.
Yeah.
God send. I've heard that one, but we also have I don't know, but I like that. Just chatting here now. That's what we're doing.
And Matthew's a messenger too, I thought.
We can look up etymology.
I think gift of God or something, or like, gift from God. Apparently, something like that.
Kevin, you should pull up baby names meanings page.
The baby names meanings page. Let's see if I can do it. All right, present.
I know.
Present arms.
I know chat the country.
All right, got to do your push-ups before you present arms.
My fat arms.
I did some push-ups for like a month, and I was getting stronger. But now I hurt myself a little bit. Let's see.
I tried to do that for a while.
So I'm going to search for baby names, something like this. Drive me, Chad.
Yeah.
At the
name meaning or whatever. There should be like a website for it.
Baby names and meanings.
Yeah.
We can search for a name.
Yeah, let's look up Gavin.
All right, Gavin. White Hawk.
Oh,
The name Gavin is primarily a male name of English origin that means white hawk, English medieval form of Gawain. There you go. I'm a white hawk.
a white hawk. What does that even mean? You should look up the spiritual meaning of a white hawk.
Let's see what they say about Matthew.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
Gift of God. The name Matthew is primarily a male name of English origin that means gift of God. You can also look up last names
Yeah.
too.
I'm God's gift to men.
And then, but I guess you got to be careful about handing out last names on the internet.
I'm gonna start calling you White Hawk.
White Hawk.
White Hawk Palmer.
White Hawk. Oh man. From the Warriors town.
I like the name White Hawk.
What does it say?
From the Warriors town. The name Chad is primarily a male name of English origin that means from the Warriors town.
A town of warriors? It sounds like a bunch of douches.
No, maybe. Yeah. That's why you were from there, and that's not where you stayed.
Right. Not everybody can like get along, man.
Have you guys ever heard of a Wojtek? A Wojtek is a Polish name, and it comes from Wojtek the bear. You'll have to check it out. Like Wojtek the bear, Wikipedia. And so Wojtek ended up like in the military. Wojtek the bear, and it means like joyful warrior. That's a cool. If you ever, you could if you ever get curious one evening and you want to know about a bear that was in the military, help fight the Nazis.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. How's that possible?
Ask it what the meaning of a white hawk is.
The meaning of a white hawk? Ask the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the meaning of a white hawk? I don't know. Internet, what do you say? White hawk, spiritual meaning and symbolism. And are we doing these? I guess we're just surfing the internet. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, man. 11 omens?
A messenger from the spirit world, and is said to bring news of good things to come. The white hawk is also believed to have the ability to see into the future, making it an ideal totem animal for those who wish to gain insight into what lies ahead. The white hawk is a powerful symbol of protection, and it is said to be able to ward off evil spirits. It is also a symbol of strength and courage, and it is said to be able to help those who are facing difficult challenges in their lives. Cool. Love. Represent new beginnings, fresh starts. Blah, blah, blah. All right. What are we surfing next, Chad? You're driving. You know, this is called a mob. At work, we did this thing called mob programming. And you have I would be whoever has the keyboard is the driver. And then whoever is telling the driver what to do is the navigator.
I'm navigating, bitch.
Yeah, we're navigating these patterns.
We should look at what is it? What is a palmer?
What is a palmer? Oh man, you told the world what I am. I'm just kidding. You already know. What is a palmer? Palmer, a pilgrim, especially one who had returned from the Holy Land with a palm branch or leaf as a sign of having undertaken the pilgrimage.
Damn, you're a holy dude, man.
Yep, I got holes in my socks, holes in my shirts.
For sure, bro. So my middle name is Matthew's first name.
Oh, cool.
Nice. We have
my middle name is Robert, I think.
What is a Robert?
Yep.
A Robert is a Bob. Let's see. Meaning, origin. There we go. We'll go to the first one. Bright Fame.
Did you
The
say
ma-
Fang?
F-A-M-E. Fame.
Oh,
What does
I
that
wonder,
mean in German? I mean, it's bright fame.
I wonder what that means
Yeah.
when it's your middle name. Is it more dim or is it a hidden bright fame? I wonder.
I wonder. All right. You want to keep navigating? What's next?
Robert the
Uh,
Bruce.
Yeah, Robert Bruce. I think I'm related to him. I would give you my last name, but I don't. I mean, you know it, but I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah,
to.
you don't want to do that.
But basically, I think what my name means is altogether is I'm according to my name, I should be from the Warriors town that is a gift of God who battles White Walkers.
Nice. The zombies? Or
Yeah.
the zombies?
Something like that.
The White Walkers. Where does White Walkers come from?
I think my last name stands for chain maker or something. Or no, grappling hook. Somebody who makes grappling hooks. That's my last name.
The White Walker.
Catcher.
The one who walks on the snow?
Hmm. No, it's not Whitaker. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about now?
I know White Walker from
Otherwise, I'm gonna
Game
hop-
of Thrones.
I've got about 15 more minutes to goof off, but I can read the Bible. I've got a Bible here.
Open it up willy nilly. See where you land.
I've heard that someone told me you're not supposed to do that.
Well, somebody will say you're not supposed to do that, and then somebody will say,
I've done
"What?"
it before.
Well, how are you supposed to exactly do that if you kind of know where the books are and everything? You could be biased and lean forward, lean back, lean front. You know, how can you allow the right hand to not know what the left hand's doing?
Yeah, that's true.
Need
Well-
a random Bible verse generator. I bet they got one.
You know what you could do? Here's what you could do. You can go back on your interwebs there and pull up a number generator, punch in the number of pages that are in your Bible, and then pick a number between 1 and this number. And we can
When I was mob programming, this is actually how we settled some disputes. Like, who's going to start the day? It's like, doesn't matter. Let's do the random number.
Man, I'm lagging like crazy.
All right. Random.org. Is that what I used to do? Yeah, random.org.
Well, you punch that in and dust turn to dust.
Oh. Uh-oh. It's not good. My page numbers are weird. There we go. Let's see. How many? I've got a study Bible, which is pretty cool because you could end up on a page that tells you about the comparison of what, all the different books and all the different topics. And so it's got all kinds of stuff in it. So it might be a miss.
Nice.
2023. It's like getting the Joker or something. 2023. Somebody hopped in here. Dust is back. Air the stage. There we go. I'm not even sharing. There we go. 2023 random.org. Generate 1913. All right. Am I supposed to feel dirty?
Dirty?
I felt something.
Maybe
20.
You felt bossed around. Maybe it's my
Dirty.
cigarette.
You're the navigator, Chad. You're the navigator. 2023. Oh, no, 1913.
1913.
Mm-hmm. 1913. Yeah, I've been writing in my Bible. I don't know how to feel about that. I've been writing. I've got highlights. I've got pencil markings.
Yeah, I mean,
But then
It
it's got
helps.
some stuff like it's got stuff from my past, right? And it's like that dude. Who's that dude?
that's can be good to remember sometimes.
Yeah. So someone could go and pick it up and say, "That's Gavin," and it was Gavin however long ago, from 2 weeks ago. Who knows? Oh, this is Hebrews chapter 1.
Oh,
God has spoken by His Son. Let's see. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time, passed unto the fathers by the prophets. And so I even have like notes down below for 1 and 2. That was verse 1. Verse 2 is, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. And then the theologians put notes down underneath to help you, connect things. And then there's the third verse. There's only 3 verses on this whole page. Let me show it
interesting.
to the camera. In the third verse, let's see. We just came up with a new game. Grimgris is going to have to do. Someone said, let's see, a third verse, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. And it starts verse 4. But yeah, I mean, here's I don't know. 1913, chapter 1, verses 1 through 3.
So he sat down on his right hand?
Oh, no, probably on the right hand of somebody's right hand, to the right hand. Sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. And so majesty is an uppercase M. And so it probably is a Greek for, was it Theos? If I had to go, and we could pull up Blue Letter Bible, it'd probably be Theos.
Do you think
Or Theos?
that on his hand?
Who being the brightness of his glory and the
Oh,
express
right
image
hand.
of his person, sat down on
like
the right
right-hand
hand of the
man
majesty
or-
on high. Yeah. And I guess I asked GPT-4, I've used GPT-4 for Bible study, and I think traditionally the one on the right hand
does
ends up being the power. Like if you're the Lord or the King, your right hand would be the one with like power. Now and then I was curious, like, well, what's the left hand? There's the right hand, there's the left hand. But yeah, there's something about being on the right hand or being on the left hand.
But like, did he actually sit on the hand or sat to the right hand?
It says sat down on the right hand of the majesty in the King James Version, but I like to pull the Blue Letter Bible up. Unless they got a typo in this thing.
I think it's symbolic.
Here, I'll show you how I do some Bible study. I like to use. So here's where I was. Is Jeremiah. I like Jeremiah 31, chapter 31 through 34.
In
the New Covenant.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
I heard that. Is that true, Chad? Is that true?
I heard it in a song once.
All right. It reminds me of maybe I could do some. I'm not sharing this. Let's see. I'll do the branding, and he'll do the perspective of the bullfrog. There you go. There's the bullfrog watching the lake. And then I wanted to share Blue Letter Bible. And then you can, what's cool is like you can look at the Hebrew, and then you can go look up Strong's. So you can begin to dig into like kind of maybe it was translated in a way that's not ideal. Now this is a website called blueletterbible.org. I'll just share a link. So if I go, is it Jeremiah? Jeremiah 31. 31 through 34. And then I'm going to take the URL and share it in the comment section. And boom. So there's a link. But then I want to go to, what was it? Hebrews chapter 1? Hebrews 1?
Yeah.
And then you can go to tools for the third verse and you can look for this. It's crazy if we can do this. Like, just, it would have been very hard to do this. How, like, what, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? And I
Maybe
mean,
possible for some.
and when he had by
Yeah.
himself sat down on the right hand of the majesty. So there's this,
Of course,
the
I'm
right
lagging like
hand
crazy, so
is,
I don't know.
is this Dexios. And there's this sat down on. So it's like Kathizo and Dexios. And I know it's not the right way to say these words. And then what does this on mean? So there's a sat down and there's the right hand, but there's this on. So they chose to use O-N.
Ain.
And if
Ain.
I go to like,
Um,
so here's an N
yeah.
and a by. And so it turns out the King James version might not be that great. You might would want to check out something else. And so you can kind of juggle. It's like, what is this? What did the Greek actually say? Like, and you can try to figure it out and think about how these different words may have meant something different, in the past, whenever the author wrote it. What did the author mean instead of the interpreter who may have misinterpreted it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, most people in the circles I know, like use the English Standard Version, or they might just use the NIV. NIV can be easy to understand, but the English Standard Version and the American Standard Version and the New King James Version, all those are popular. So
this Dewey
Yeah.
Rhymes is kind of interesting. Was it Hebrews? The Blue Letter Bible doesn't have those Dewey Rhymes. But yeah, it's interesting how there's multiple interpretations, and some of them make more sense than others.
Right. And that sometimes that depends on where you're standing too.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was kind of not liking John 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and now I'm reading John and I'm liking it. And then I even had a verse, and I read the verse, and then I made that video where all of a sudden I felt bad after saying what I'd said. And then I went back and like revisited it, and I started seeing new things in the verse. And it's like, oh, I totally skipped that part. I skipped that word,
I think
I was just being pedantic.
Pedantic.
I think I understood what it was saying. I was just being a joker.
It was an opportunity to show off some tools.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I know the beginning of John in Greek. Yeah.
It's all Greek to me, man.
Let's look through the comments before we end this thing. I missed a lot of stuff going on. If I scroll through, anything you guys think I should highlight? Can you see the comments?
Do you think that term, it's all Greek to me, is like a real Tom Hollandy type phrase? Like, see if you can puzzle that thing together. Makes sense to me, right? All right. Never mind.
Oh man,
Like
there's a
rocket
bunch of
science.
phrases. It's like these little programs, like it's not rocket science. I'm not a big fan of that one. I was thinking of the same one, and it was like,
It's
and,
not rocket surgery.
there's some of them I really don't like just sayings that people use, like don't reinvent the wheel. I don't like that one, and I don't like
Reinvent that bitch. What are we doing here? What are we talking about?
There's people who have been doing it, and there are some amazing wheels out there that don't go flat, and they don't have to be replaced, and they'll last hundreds of years.
But listen, at some point you're gonna have to stop reinventing the wheel. Right?
At some point, whenever everybody can fly.
I've heard that
maybe.
too.
I mean, you can imagine that there can only be so many iterations of the wheel.
An infinite. Eventually, you might not need it, though. Let's see.
That's
Well,
what I would think. Like a toaster oven, there's so many iterations of toaster ovens.
Well, maybe it's actually impossible to reinvent the wheel.
This was a great comment. I have "this too shall pass" tatted on my back in Hebrew.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, because you're not going to reinvent it. It's already been done, but you can. Excuse me. What's the word?
Iterate.
No. Innovate.
8.5.
Innovate.
Yeah. Can you re-innovate?
I was
Or is
commenting
that-
on the burp. It was 8.5. So
Is that
Richter scale.
what kind of scale? Richter scale?
Sorry.
Are we
Is it
having
the-
For the burping.
squirrel? All right, I have to let my dogs out and
I'm
upload
I'm
this.
getting lag. I'm sorry.
All right. Where we at? I think we
right.
handled all the bad ideology.
check-
We figured it all out.
I'll-
Thank you for joining.
Tried.
Thank you
Oh,
for having
yeah.
us.
And then we close.